All right, part five, what it costs to follow Christ. This is relationships. I think we all relate to this one. Some relationships will strain and some relationships will break, especially when you start aligning yourself up with Christ. I know a lot of baby Christians didn't realize that was going to be the case. They expected a lot of people to be excited about their walk. Um, I did at one point. I did lose some friends, but I gained for the sake of, for lack of better terms, better friends, friends who had my best interest at heart. So this comes from Matthew 10:36. A person's enemies will be those of his own household. So what this means is that Jesus comes first. God comes first, not family, not material things, not your desires, not your ambitions, not even your wife or a husband or your kids. None of that. Christ comes first. You place him first. He is the head of house. You can't bypass that. If anything else comes first, then it's idolatrous and it's sinful and detestable to God, and God will destroy it. He is a jealous God who does not like anything before him. And we have to understand this too. People take the jealousy of God, the word jealous of God, uh, that God's a jealous God, in a carnal tone. Like it's like, oh, why is God jealous? Like that's a humanistic term. You have to understand that God's jealousy is not humanistic jealousy. What it is it's a jealousy that, in the best example I can come up with, like my son or my daughter giving their allegiance or their love or their time or their money to a drug dealer who's serving them drugs, serving them something bad, and accepting that love, that support from them when they don't have their best interests at heart. That's what God sees. He sees that we are giving ourselves over to finite desires or finite materialistic things or finite, uh, unstable philosophies, and he sees the death in it, the vacuum that it sucks everything from you, and it can't sustain that, and it makes him upset because if you want something solid, God, Christ is the most solid thing you can put your faith into. He never fails. He won't fail. He hasn't failed. And everything is anchored to him. Why are you putting your faith or putting your energy to things that don't matter, cannot hold up to the God shaped vacuum in your soul? It won't work. Family will not save you. Materialistic things will not save you. Money won't save you. We cannot continuously put. I mean, in this day and age, your sexual preference or orientation will not save you, and we make those relationships, those connections, God, and we wonder why they fail. God's a jealous God. It just doesn't work out that way. And it makes sense. If you want the most optimal life, you have to put your back against something that's solid, because life comes with hands. And if you're if you don't have anything to press up against to support you, it's going to break through. You're going to break through. You're going to fall, and you're going to get trampled. This is one of the things that God wants us, why he wants us to put us first. If we have something we can rely on that's reliable, then you ultimately have something to stand on, to step up to. If every time we take a step forward that the ground broke and we're sinking instead of moving up, then we would fail at everything and everything would crush us. And eventually we would just give up on life in general. God gives us that. He gives us a sense of comfort in that way, that he says, no matter what comes at you, I got your back. I will be the ground that you stand on. I will be the foundation that holds you up. And as long as you keep my commandments, as long as you keep me in your vision, as long as you stay in my light and you follow me, you have nothing to worry about. No matter how hard life gets, I go harder. No matter how big the problem is, I'm much bigger. And if you don't have that, just replace all those things with, like, No matter how big my problems is, money's bigger until you run into something that doesn't cost money. I mean, that you can't pay for money, like your health. No matter how much money you spend, if you have a disease that no one can cure, your money is pointless. So same thing with your relationships. If you put your kids first and they move on, now you have nothing to give your love to because your kids now love someone else, and that's an unhealthy relationship. That's a whole nother conversation. But everything you make God ultimately will fail you or move on, especially relationships. So that's why Jesus said you have to put me first. God, that's in the Ten Commandments. It says, put no other God before me. And what he means, he's not confirming that there are other gods like him. He's confirming that people will make objects, creation, God, where the creator, Christ, is the only God that can support us, that can hold us up, that can keep us sane, focused, and he's the most reliable. So you have a blessed day.